Hello students, welcome to Accounting 2401, Principles of Financial Accounting. This is Mrs. Mercado speaking. This is going to be a short lecture over week number 6 content. During week number 6, we are not going to be completing or going over a specific chapter. Rather, we are going to be working on group project number 1. So I wanted to go over the details of the group project, your group distribution. That way you can be familiar of what is expected of you. Okay. Now all of the information for the group project was made available to you during week number 5. That way you could start coordinating with your group members, begin assigning tasks, doing anything that you needed to do so you could get the project done. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to Blackboard where you have the project instructions. Okay, so you're going to have the entire week to complete the project. Okay, once you go into your Blackboard, you're going to see the objectives of what the assignment entails. I don't give any assignments unless they're intended to meet an objective. Okay, so this particular assignment is going to meet 3 program objectives and 1 course objective. So it's a very important assignment. Okay, it's not only going to cover some objectives, but it's also going to provide you with an opportunity to get to know some of your class members and work together with them. Okay, now the first thing that you're going to see here is group project number 1. If you see it has like a little underline on it, anytime I create an assignment on Blackboard, you'll be able to select it, and then it'll give you the option to upload the assignment. Okay, so it gives you specifics about the assignment. I'm asking you here that it's 1 project submission per group. So you have to designate 1 individual in your group that's going to be responsible for submitting the project. I only want 1 project per group. Okay. The project is going to be worth 90 points. This is for the actual content of the project. So once you're ready to submit the assignment, you've reviewed it as a group and you're getting ready to upload it, you're going to designate a person, and that person is going to come in here, browse our computer, and upload the file, and then I'll grade it. Okay, but this is how you would submit your assignment. You would just click on that hyperlink right there, and then you would attach the assignment. That is the first part of the requirement, and I'll go over the details in a bit. The second part of the requirement is to complete a self and peer evaluation. I want to know how your group members did. Okay, did they participate? How did they participate? Did they meet assignment deadlines? Any feedback you want to provide me about your group members, this is where you're going to complete it. Okay, now this is a requirement for every student. Every student needs to complete a self and peer evaluation. Okay, I am not going to give you a grade on your group project if you don't give me a self and peer evaluation by the due date. So if you fail to do this part, guess what? You're going to get a big fat 0. Okay, so it is very important that you complete the self and peer evaluation on an individual basis. Every student needs to complete a self and peer evaluation, and then for the group project submission, it's 1 submission per group. Okay, and I don't want to hear excuses, Miss, I didn't know I had to submit it. Why? Because I'm saying you have to submit it. It's highlighted here that you have to submit it. It's made available to you. Okay, so once you are getting ready, you're going to click on the file, download the file, complete it, and then upload it. So if you click it there, the evaluation is worth 10 points. You can you're going to browse your computer and you're going to upload the file with the evaluation. Okay, so I've also included some videos. Okay, now these are just some informational videos in case you don't know how to do APA formatting, how to add a narration to the presentation, how to write notes to a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, these are just general videos that I found on YouTube that will help you. They're short videos that they can help you create your presentation in case you're having or needing some form of guidance. Okay, so those are just informational videos that I have included. Okay, now let me jump over to the actual project. Okay, before I jump into the project, I want to go over the group member list. Okay, so I put you all in groups. Okay, so you all don't get to choose. Just like if you were working, sometimes we don't choose who we work with. Sometimes we get along with them. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes, we just have to get the job done, whether we agree, disagree. We don't think alike. So, in preparation for you to be familiarized with how it works in the actual workforce, I have put you in groups and I have made available to you the group member list. Okay, so these are the group members that are in your group. Okay, now, by the beginning of week number 6, you should have already established communication with your group members. Okay, you need to the project is very extensive, so you need to, by Monday, by today, by September the 28th, you should already have established communication with your group members so you can begin working on your assignments. Okay, if you have not been able to establish communication with your group members by Monday, September the 28th, then you need to let your group members know, you know what, we need to get started on this group project. You're not answering our text messages, our Blackboard messages, our WhatsApp chat, whatever is it that, however you're communicating, I am not giving you instructions on how you communicate with your group members. That is up to you. But since you don't have your group members' phone numbers or information of that sort, the step number one is, during week number 5, should have been to send your group members a Blackboard message. Okay, that way your group can establish communication, and then from that point you should have decided, how are we going to communicate going forward? Are we going to create a chat? Are we going to create a WhatsApp group? Are we going to be doing Zoom conferences? That is up to your group how you communicate. Okay, but by now all of you should have communicated. If by Monday one of your group members or two of your group members have not communicated, I am going to leave it to the discretion of the group to decide, what are we going to do with these group members that are not answering. Are we going to give them an extra day or two to answer, or are we going to kick them out of the group? Okay, if you decide to kick out a member of a group because they're not answering to your messages, you've tried 3, 4, 5 times and they are not communicating, then you need to send that group member a message. So one person, you designate a person. That person needs to send an email or a Blackboard message to that student. Copy me on the message and state, per group discussion, Maria, Juan, Pedro, and Pablo decided that you will no longer be in our group because you have not answered to our so many communication attempts that we've tried reaching out to you. We need to start working on the assignment. You have not answered, so you are no longer in our group. Okay, that way the student gets notified. You know what? They kicked me out of the group because they've been trying to get a hold of me for 5 days and I have not been responsible enough to answer to them. Okay, and that way I know that, you know what, you've kicked this person out of your group and I'm okay with that. Okay, we are adults and we should be checking our Blackboard messages every day, and we should be responding whenever a student or students are messaging us, especially if it's for a group project. Okay, so if you have not made the time to communicate with your group members and they as a group have made a decision to get you out of the group, then that is acceptable with me as long as I get communicated and you get communicated. Okay, at that point in time when you get kicked out of the group, then you need to communicate with me. Okay, I don't want to hear it, it's Friday night and you're messaging me, Miss, 3 of my group members have not responding to my messages. It's Friday. That's going to leave you 2 days to work on this project, and it's not going to give you enough time to do quality work on it. Okay, by Monday, every participating member should have been identified. You should have developed a game plan on how you're going to be communicating with your group members, and you should have designated the work out to the different group members, have established deadlines as to, okay, by when do we have to submit our parts, by when do we have to submit our audio, all of that stuff. The logistics needs to have been worked out already. I've given you week 5 to establish communication. Week 6 is actually working on the project. Okay, now we're gonna get to working on the project. Okay, so this is your group member list. Go over it and make sure that you maintain active communication with your group members. Now, if you were assigned a task or a specific item, you don't understand it, this is a group project. Okay, you need to communicate with your group members. Hey, you know what? I've been assigned this task. I am not really clear on what I need to do, or I need some help. I can't explain this, or I can't find that. As a group, you all need to work together and get this done. Okay, so that is your group member list. Okay, now let's go with the requirements. There's a lot of requirements, specific requirements that need to be met. Okay, so these are the requirements, and these were provided to you as of week 5 as well. That way you had all of this information available. Okay, so the objective of the presentation is to allow students to experience working together in groups to conduct research and prepare a final comprehensive project. Okay, a PowerPoint presentation is going to be prepared in which all members of the assigned groups must participate in researching, preparing the presentation, and recording the presentation audio. Okay, so the presentation needs to be between 15 to 18 slides of content. This excludes the cover page and the reference page. So it's going to be 15 to 18 slides of actual information plus the cover sheet plus the reference page. You don't meet this requirement, points will be deducted. Okay, now for every slide, you need to have notes within that slide. And there is a video in Blackboard. Let me go back here. There is a video here on where to write notes for your PowerPoint slides. Okay, so if you don't know where to write notes, this is a video that you need to watch. Okay, so every slide needs to have notes. Okay, consisting of 150 to 200 words per slide. Okay, this is where you're going to elaborate what you're presenting on your slide. Okay, so I do not want you to overload your slide with information. I don't want you to just type everything on your presentation on the slide and just read out of your slide. No, your slide should have key information, pictures, diagrams, key information that's going to be clear, precise, and then your notes are going to supplement that. The note is what you're going to be talking about. That's what you're going to be speaking of. Okay, so the notes are going to be a supplement. The actual slide needs to be clean, not a lot of information included, just key information, some visuals that will help the learner or the audience be able to understand what you're portraying. Okay, so this is super important. Your notes are super important. Failure to satisfy the requirement will result in lost points. Okay, the content within the actual slide should include key phrases or points of information, and your notes section should supplement the information that needs to be explained within each slide. Do not overload your slide with information and simply paste the content of the presentation in the notes section. Okay, what I've had students do is they type a whole bunch of information on the slide and then they copy the information from the slide over to the notes. You do that, oh my God, you're not going to get a very good grade on this presentation. Okay, the actual slide, key points, pictures, diagrams, tables, your notes, actual information. Okay, so that should be how you lay out your presentation. Okay, your notes should elaborate or supplement the information you are presenting verbally within the actual slide. Okay, please cite your sources within the notes section of each slide as well as within each of the slides. So if you obtained information from a book, from an article, from wherever, that citation needs to be included. And I have included videos on how to do citations, okay? APA style for PowerPoint presentations, okay? So if you don't cite your sources, that is regarded as plagiarism, and you can get expelled from the college because if you plagiarize. So it's very important to cite your sources within this slide as well as the notes section. If it's not your information, if you didn't come up with that, then a citation needs to be included, okay? So all members of the group must actively participate in researching, preparing the presentation, and delivering the presentation. All members of the group must participate in recording the section of the presentation you worked on. Okay, I am not going to accept presentations that are missing audio. So if you have five group members presenting, okay, maybe I'm going to present the first three slides. Okay, so you're going to say, you're going to introduce yourself before you start working on the presentation. So you're going to, say, hello, my name is Claudia Mercado, and I'm going to be presenting the next portion of the presentation that covers whatever is it that it's covering. Okay, that way I know the name of each student that's presenting those slides. So that student covers the 3 or 4 slides that they're going to cover, and then the next student is going to come in and say, my name is, Mickey Mouse, and I'm going to be presenting this area. Okay, that way I can keep track of who's presenting what. Make sure that you start off by introducing yourself when you are presenting your part of the presentation. Okay, now I am not going to grade you on your part. I'm going to grade you on the overall presentation. Okay, but I do need to know what part of the presentation you worked on. Okay, and since I don't get to see you face to face, I really don't know what your voice sounds like and who you are. So that way I know, okay, Maria is presenting the first 3 slides, and then Juan came in and presented the next 3 slides. And you know what? Those were the only 2 presenters. Well, what happened to the other ones? They didn't record. Why? Okay, so make sure, very important, make sure that before you start your section of the presentation, you state your name. Okay, you introduce yourself. Okay, a title slide needs to be included. On your title slide, I only want the names of the group members that participated. So if there's 5 group members in your group and only 3 worked on the project, I only want those 3 group members' names that participated in the project. Okay, that's going to tell me this presentation was put together by only these 3 group members. Okay, so it's very important, only include the names of the group members that participated. Okay. A reference page needs to be included, okay, as well as in-text citations within the slides and the notes section like previously referenced. Your reference page needs to be organized alphabetical order. Okay, so yes, I know that you have 4, 5, 6 group members on your group. You need to put together a reference page and alphabetize it. Okay, I don't want 5 different slides of references. These are my references. These are Juan's references. These are Maria's references. These are James' references. No, this is a group project. I want all references put together and alphabetized. Okay. Make sure that you cite all of your sources. Plagiarism will not be tolerated. Please ensure to cite your sources. Paraphrase. Don't just copy and paste. Okay, we are in college. We need to start working and preparing ourselves for doing research and giving credit to the whoever provided that information, giving credit to the sources. Okay, so make sure that you cite your sources. Okay, students are highly encouraged to include statistics, graphs, charts, images within their presentation to make it entertaining. Okay, visually entertaining. Don't overload your slides with presentation, and don't read off of your slides. Okay, that is why you have your notes section. Okay, what else can I say here? This is a group project. I know that what usually happens is students delegate portions of the project out. These are the portions. This is what needs to be included in your presentation. So what I've usually seen is that students delegate, okay, you're going to work in requirement A, B, you're going to work in requirement C. Okay, don't just focus on the requirement that you had assigned to you, but focus on the entire presentation. Okay, so when the presentation has been put together, okay, everybody submitted their part. I don't know how you're going to designate who's going to put it together, but someone needs to put it together. Once the final presentation is put together, make sure that the audio is clear, that once you put it together, each piece of each slide has its audio attached to it. I know a lot of students use Google Slides. I'm not very familiar with Google Slides, but I have known that students have problems recording their audio in Google Slides. Okay. What I would recommend is if you are using Google Slides, for simplicity, because I know it updates, as you're working together in a group, that is fine. But when you're getting ready to record your audio, you download the Google Slides into PowerPoint and you record your section in PowerPoint. That way, whoever puts the slides together will basically just cut and paste your slides with the audio into the new presentation that includes all slides. Okay, but it's all up to you how you all do it. It's just that I need that every slide has its audio attached to it. Okay, I don't want you sending me a file with 20 audio files and then I don't know which one goes with what. I'm not going to accept that. I want the PowerPoint, I open it up, the first slides, you introduce your group members, I click it and, it starts talking, okay? So make sure that every slide has the audio attached. Now, once you've put your presentation together, I need for all of the group members to review it, okay? Because it is graded based on a group effort. So if you start reviewing your presentation, your group project, and you identify that a group member did not include any citations, the information that they included makes no sense, you need to speak up and say, hey, Maria, I see here that you didn't meet the requirement for the task that you were supposed to do. I noticed that you didn't include any citations. This section needs to be revised. Work together, help each other out, get it revised. Okay? Because if something is incorrect, if citations are not going to be included in some of the slides, points are going to be deducted from the project and that is going to affect you. Okay? So the presentation is a reflection of the group, not only your section. Okay? I'm not grading you on what you did, I'm grading you on the entire project. Okay? So I hope all of that is clear. Now these are the requirements. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 requirements. Okay, and within each requirement, there's several things that need to be explained. So the first thing is you have to define and explain in detail, what a business is. Okay, you're going to explain in detail the forms of business in organizations to include a service business, a merchandising, and a manufacturing business. You have to provide 5 examples of each type of business to include service, merchandising, and manufacturing. Okay, 5 examples of each. Explain what each of those are. Okay, you're going to explain each of the forms of business entities to include proprietorship, partnership, corporations, and limited liability companies. So you're going to explain each of these. Okay, you're going to identify the strengths and the weaknesses of each of the mentioned forms of business entities to include proprietorship, partnership, corporations, and limited liability companies. You're going to provide a general overview or process for selecting and establishing a proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and limited liability company. So if you're opening up a business, how do you decide which of these types of forms of business entities you're going to use? Okay, am I going to set up a corporation? Am I going to set up a partnership? You have to explain and provide an overview of how you select, and then once you make a selection, how do you establish these? Okay, you have to explain in detail each of the below principles and their importance to financial information. How is this important to financial information? And you have to explain consistency, disclosure, faithful representation, materiality, measurement, historical cost, revenue recognition, and expense recognition. Okay, and last but not least, you're going to identify and explain the differences between accrual and cash basis accounting. Okay, so all of these need to be explained. Okay, you can organize your presentation however you see fit. Just make sure that every slide has notes ranging between 150 to 250 words. Okay, so the group project is worth 100 points. 90 points is your presentation, 10 points is your self and peer evaluation. Okay, the group distribution has been made available, so you've been told who your group members are going to be. Okay, like I said before, every group member needs to complete the self and peer evaluation. If not, they are going to earn a 0. Okay, so it is very important that you keep all of the correspondence with your group members, whether it be WhatsApp group, chats, email messages, however is it that you communicate, you keep all of your group members' correspondence. Why? I've had students dispute that they did not work on a project. I've had students, put on their evaluation, Pedro did not participate at all in the project. I give Pedro a 0. Pedro communicates to me, Miss, I did slides 7, 8, and 9. What do you mean I get a 0? Well, Pedro, your group members are telling me that you did not participate. Okay? So then I need to obtain information from the group members that stated that Pedro did not participate, and he's disputing his grade. Okay? And then we establish communication. And this is where you let me know, okay, Pedro tells me, look, miss, this is where I submitted my assignments. You tell me, well, this is where, he did not participate. And then I review the information and I make a determination. Okay. So keeping all of your group members' correspondence in case a student disputes their involvement in the assignment is very important. And I can request that information. Okay. So I encourage that you use either Blackboard message to communicate with each other, or if you are using whatever other method, just keep that information available in case of a student dispute. Okay, so students are going to have the entire week 6 to complete the project. Okay, the project is due on Sunday, October the 4th at 11 p.m. Okay, each team member must designate a team leader that's going to be responsible for submitting the final presentation. Okay, 1 submission per team member. I will not accept late assignments. Now, let me see. Once you upload your presentation in Blackboard, or, what I would recommend is that every student, as they're working on their assignment, they make sure that they cite their sources, that for every citation that they have, they include that citation in your reference page. Like I said, you need to paraphrase the information. Don't copy and paste, because I will be running a report to see if the information is plagiarized. If I identify that your group plagiarized, they just copied and pasted the information, you will be reported. Okay, so it's very important that you paraphrase the information, that you cite your sources, and it's very easy for me to tell when it was just copied and pasted. Okay, so I will leave it for you to do a review as a group and identify, like I said, you didn't cite, or this, just doesn't sound right, or whatever the case might be. Okay, but these are the assignment instructions. If you have any questions on any of the assignment instructions, please get with me by Friday afternoon at 5. Okay, that way I can make sure that I respond to your inquiries and you get to complete your project. Okay, whenever you're recording your audio, make sure that the audio is clear, that there is minimal background noise. And I know it's difficult because we have kids at home, or we have pets, or whatever the case might be, but please try to record when it's quiet. That way the audio is very audible and I can be able to clearly understand what you're speaking. Okay, so that is the information that has been available to you since week 5. For your self and peer evaluation, let me see if it lets me load it. Yes, hopefully it does. Okay, it's a Word document. Okay, you're gonna save this work document. Okay, what's gonna happen is you're gonna put your name on the top. Okay, I want to know whose evaluation this is. Okay, so you're gonna put your name on the top, and then you're gonna enter your group member's name down here. Okay, so it's gonna be Juan, Pedro, Pablo, Maria, and then your name. You're also going to evaluate yourself. Okay, and then these are the criteria that I'm looking for. Okay, did that group member participate in discussion and brainstorming of ideas? Did they maintain a positive attitude and help out group members in need? So if Pedro was asking for help, did the group members contribute to helping them out and answering their questions? Did the group member contribute to the work the research and the presentation? Did the group member participate in recording the audio? Did they stay on task? Did they respond to emails, phone calls, or any other form of correspondence timely? Okay, the key word here is timely. I don't want you to tell me, well, yeah, I answered their emails on Sunday night. Okay, that's too late. Okay, so you need to respond. If they're sending you messages, you need to respond timely. Were the established group members or were the established group deadlines met? Okay, so you're going to rank. Okay, if they never participated, you're going to give them a 0. If they rarely participated, you're going to give them a 1. If they sometimes or occasionally participated, you're going to give them a 2. And if they always participated, all or most of the time, you're going to give them a 3. So you're going to assign a number to each of your group members, and then you're going to give me a total by member, okay? Including yourself. So make sure that you do all of that. Okay, so did they participate in discussion? Rarely. Did they maintain a positive attitude? Never. That's going to be a 0. Okay, so this is going to be a 1. This is going to be a 0. Did they contribute to the work? Sometimes. Did they participated in recording the audio? Nope, they did not. That's a 0. Did they stay on task? Rarely. Okay. Did they respond to my emails? Sometimes. Did they met the established group deadline? Rarely. Okay, and then you're going to give me a total. Okay, so that's 1 plus 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 points for this member. Okay, member number 2. Okay, you're going to enter the name here. Okay, so this is going to be Jose. Okay, the second one's going to be Maria. Okay, this is just an example. And you can delete this as you're doing it. Okay, so you're going to put Jose Garcia. I need first and last name. Okay, the second member is Maria Perez. Okay, whatever the case might be. Did she participate? Always. Okay, maintain positive? Always. Contributed to the work? This was an amazing student here. Okay, stayed on task? Yes, she did. Always. Always she sometimes responded to the emails late, so I'm going to put a 2 there. And she always met the deadline. Okay, so I'm going to give her points now. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points. Okay, so that you're going to continue with the rest, and that's what you're going to do. Okay, now, if you have specific comments about a specific student, hey, miss, Pedro never responded, or Pedro was very rude, in our chats, or whatever is it that you want to include, you can elaborate here. Okay. Please be truthful in your responses. Okay. If I identify a major discrepancy between the group members' evaluations, I'm going to request proof of the communications. Okay. That's going to help corroborate the participation or lack of participation from specific group members. Okay, don't just give all of your group members a 3. Okay, because if you give all of your group members a 3, and then I have Jose gives everybody a 3, and then Maria gives some of their group members 0s, and then James it gives members different rankings. They're not very consistent with each other. I'm gonna say, well, what is the truth here? Who participated and who didn't? Okay, so be truthful in your responses as a group. Okay, because if there's discrepancies, I'm going to ask for clarification from you. Okay, so this needs to be completed. You don't complete this, you get a 0. Okay, this needs to be completed on an individual basis. Make sure that you don't forget to put your name up here. Okay, that way I know whose evaluation this belongs to. Okay, so once you've completed it, you save it, and then you upload it here. Okay, and then I'll be able to grade your assignment. Okay, and like I said, these are just videos that I've included. That way, if you have or you need guidance in specific areas, you can watch them. Okay, so this is everything that's going to happen on week number 6. Okay, everything is due on October the 4th. Please work together. Make sure you collaborate with each other, you establish communication and maintain communication. And if you have any questions, you reach out to me. I'm available here to answer any or clarify any requirements. I'm not going to help you look for the solutions to any of the requirements. If you have questions about how do I answer this question, get with your group members. I can clarify the instructions, but if you need research help, then you need to get with your group members so they can help you. Okay. So that is basically what we're going to be covering week number 6. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to viewing and listening to your presentations. Thank you very much.